Thank you for reviewing and giving me feedback on this presentation. I'm starting out with the issue of attendance in elementary schools in the urban low socioeconomic environment. And I've started with the question of what were the effects of attendance issues in those schools. And what I found in research was that much of the effects were for children in elementary schools now and in their future. It really had an effect on their future school attendance as well. It also had an effect on the classroom and whole schools and districts. So the effects of the attendance issues really run far and wide in our city. My other question was looking at the causes of absenteeism. And in the low socioeconomic environment of urban schools, we find that the causes are often unsafe environments in neighborhoods and schools, relationships, issues with teachers and peers, and then the other things that come up with financial hardship. Also mental health issues, unclear policies from the schools, and parents who are remembering negative associations from their own school experiences. We also have other issues that are found often in low socioeconomic settings, and those also can affect our school absenteeism. So the other question I came up with was, how do we prevent truancy in the urban setting in elementary schools? And we found that there were a lot of different things in the research for this. And much of it had to do with increasing incentives for attendance and ensuring lessons were engaging and all of those things. However, when I look at elementary school children, they don't have all the choices to get to school. So much of the research that I found was based on helping middle school and high school students. I did find there were a lot of things that we could do with families, though, which may then affect attendance if we can have families and parents who feel engaged in the school. So these were some of the things that I found in the research to increase school attendance for students. So all of these things together I came up with the concept of a parent perception of school connectedness as a means to better school attendance for children. In looking at parent perception of school connectedness, I looked at several studies. Epstein and Sheldon were the first to study the elementary school attendance. Studies before that had really focused heavily on middle school and high school. Their study, present and accounted for, was then updated by Chang and Romero in 2008, with more information being added to that. They addressed the issues of the causes of attendance, the effects of attendance, and then some of the solutions for attendance. Mallett's study in 2015 talked a lot about parent engagement as a way of increasing attendance. And LaLiberty, Sugrue, and Zuhl did a lot of studying on increasing the school's ability to become a resource for parents, to help them connect with community resources and address the underlying issues of school attendance to solve it. So my research question is, what is the correlation between parents' perception of school connectedness and low socioeconomic urban elementary school attendance? The independent variable is parent perception of school connectedness, and the dependent variable is school attendance, and I will be correlating those two variables to look for a positive correlation. My key terms are low socioeconomic. Those will be families that participate in the Milwaukee Parent Choice Program because this is already based on income. For chronic absence, I'm using the number of 16% of school days missed. This includes excused and unexcused absences. The reason I'm using this figure is because this is what the Wisconsin DPI uses to report on the Wisconsin State School Report Cards as chronic absence. In elementary, I am using the grades kindergarten through fourth grade because starting in about fifth grade, I feel students have more choice in how they get to school and the ability to maybe walk longer distances and use other means to get to school. Parent connectedness is the parent perception of how well school personnel understand, empathize, include, and respond to the needs of students and their families. The setting will be mandatory parent-teacher conferences. I will be giving surveys to parents in the lobby of the school. The participants will be the parents of students in grades K-5 through 4th grade. I expect about 80% of them will participate, and I base this on past surveys given by the school in the same setting. We got about 80% response. The survey will be a pencil and paper survey. It'll have a numerical scale with parents agreeing or disagreeing with statements regarding school connectedness. For those questions, I will be using resources such as the Title I initiative statements, which talks about school engagement in early childhood. I will be using a study by Sigmund and Philwalk regarding parent engagement in schools, and another study by Finnegan and Carr from 2014, which discusses teacher preparing programs and how they prepare teachers to engage parents, different activities in that. So I will be taking from those activities to come up with some of the questions for my survey. In addition to that data from the survey, I will be using attendance records from PowerSchool reports for the students whose families participate in the survey. I'll then correlate using a scattergram the findings from the survey and the attendance records. The goal of all of this, of course, is to improve elementary attendance in order to raise achievement and close achievement gaps in our urban elementary school settings. Thank you again for listening and providing feedback.